Welcome in to Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for being here. Today, on a Saturday, December 10th, we are going over Jaguars' keys to victory against the dreaded Tennessee Titans in Week 14. I think the number one thing, and this is cliche, it's as cliche as the day is long, but they have got to play with energy. They came out flat last week, and you could see that as a viewer, that this team was not ready for a football game against such a talented team last week. But you heard it afterwards from coaches, players, Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, Mike Caldwell, talking about there wasn't enough energy. We laid down, is what Trevor Lawrence said. You got to come out fighting. You got to come out physical. You got to come out energized and ready to play for 60 minutes against a tough physical football team. There's just no excuse for not being ready from a mental standpoint, like in terms of your energy and your focus and your willingness to be physical. That can't happen. That was a do-or-die game last week against the Detroit Lions for these Jaguars. They've said as much. And they came out flat. They laid down, again, as Trevor Lawrence said. You can't do that this week. You got to bring it. And part of bringing it is going to be bringing it against Derrick Henry, who you can't let him beat you. Derrick Henry is one of the most physical backs in the game today. He's a player that has, quite frankly, had his way with the Jaguars throughout his career. You can't let Derrick Henry beat you in this one. So you have to load up the box. You have to swarm to the football. It has to be multiple bodies trying to take Derrick Henry down. You've got to have full effort and full speed, multiple guys, again, getting to the football when Derrick Henry is carrying the ball. Trevor has to play, right? Much less play well. We need Trevor Lawrence to play in this game. He's technically questionable. It looks like he will probably suit up for this. He was limited in practice on Friday, officially questionable for this football game. But obviously, if you want to be the Jacksonville Jaguars that you're hoping that you can be one day more consistently, Trevor Lawrence is a big part of that. And so the Jags need Trevor Lawrence out there if they want to be able to go win this football game. Could C.J. Beathard lead a miraculous win? Maybe low scoring, maybe, but that's not what you want. You want Trevor Lawrence out there. And for that matter, I really think on the opposite side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, you really need Andre Cisco out there. You saw kind of what happened to this passing game last week when he wasn't out there, and you've seen throughout the year what can happen to it when he's not at his very best, but he has been at his best for the last month or so, and it looks like he's really found himself in this defense. You need him to play because he's your biggest playmaker in the secondary. Tyson Campbell is certainly perhaps a more steady player in year two at the left cornerback spot, but there's not a person who's in that secondary that can lead to more big plays because Andre Cisco, he can knock your ass out. He can pick the ball off. He has speed. He has physicality within him as well. So this is the type of guy that you really need out there to play because he brings an energy to that Jaguars defense that without him out there, I don't think you have it. Does Dewey bring an energy? Yes, absolutely. But Dewey does not have the physical ability that Andre Cisco does have. You really want Andre Cisco out there ready to play. If there was ever a week to figure out the pass rush, good Lord, it's now. You've got to get the Titans in passing situations, right? And point number 2, can't let Derrick Henry beat you. As long as you are able to slow Derrick Henry down, which each team that the Titans have played over the last month has been able to do, because Henry's not running at his best. The offensive line is not performing at a very high level. The passing game is not performing at a super high level, which makes it easy for teams to just be like, all right, we'll let you throw the ball on us, but you're not going to beat us with Derrick Henry. Jaguars need to take that mindset, obviously. But when Ryan Tannehill does drop back to pass, you've got to hit him, and the hits got to keep coming. There's no reason for the Jaguars to not be able to rush the passer in this game when you look at the matchup. The Titans offensive tackles have been horrid in this game. In this season. I mean, just really, really poor in pass protection. When you talk about Dennis Daly and Nicholas Petit-Frere at left and right tackle, they've been turnstiles. So you've got an opportunity here with your matchups. You've now got to win one-on-ones if you're Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen. I don't care who it is, Arden Key, Dwan Smoot, whoever. Win a one-on-one. Get in the backfield. And then it's also on Mike Caldwell, though. It's not just on the guys. You've got to get more creative up front, right? You want to be an attacking, aggressive defense. You've talked about that. Maybe you can't do everything you want to in coverage, and you got to marry your coverage with your fronts. I'm aware of that, but you've got to get more aggressive. You've got to. You got to go down swinging. Right now, it's like they're just playing so soft that you're just basically hoping a team makes a mistake. I mean, does that sound like a defensive coordinator you've had around here before? It does, and it's not working right now. You've got to go back to why you're here. Why are you in the position you're in? Because you were going to bring an aggressive attacking defense. Got to bring it. If ever there was a week to bring it, it's this week. Devin Lloyd is going to play and play a lot in this one. Chad Muma's dealing with an ankle injury. Chad had replaced Devin Lloyd in the starting lineup over the last few weeks. Devin Lloyd's turn to get back into that starting lineup, and he's not going to have Chad Muma there to clean things up if things don't go well. So it's all on Devin Lloyd this week. We've seen him have some monster performances in his rookie year. Heck, he was the rookie of the month in September in the NFL. I mean, the guy was playing unbelievable football. He needs to get back to that. Basically, I think early on, the ratio of really great plays by Devin Lloyd to frustrating mental errors, there was a lot more really good plays than frustrating mental errors. But it's kind of evened out, and even you've seen more mental errors than really good plays. You need to just get that ratio back into your favor if you're Devin Lloyd and start to make less mental mistakes, right? Start to, if you see, I saw last week, tight end was chipping Josh Allen, rolled out into his route, and Devin Lloyd just wasn't ready for it at all. You've seen other things where play action can get him, where motion, pre-snap motion can get different things. He's got to get it figured out there, and this is a big week to do it. I mean, Chad Muma can't come into the game. You're going to have to play. So Devin Lloyd has an opportunity in front of him to get back into the good graces of his coaching staff, to show that he can handle being out there on the field more. And he's going to need to take advantage of it. And I think Devin Lloyd is the type of guy that could take advantage of it in this spot. I know that it's been ugly in certain situations so far this year for Devin, but this is a really high character, a guy that loves the game of football. He's going to work his ass off to get himself where he needs to be. And so I do think there's a possibility that Devin Lloyd could get back on track here against Tennessee. I don't normally go for turnover battle as a key to victory because it's so obvious, but the Titans turned the Jaguars over a ton last year. They traditionally are able to turn the Jaguars over quite a lot in this rivalry. The Jags have got to force some turnovers of their own in this one, whether it be poking a ball out, Derrick Henry's hands, or whoever, whether it be strip sack, Ryan Tannehill, Andre Sisco getting a pick, whatever. They need to figure it out. Devin Lloyd figuring out a way to get the ball, as he's shown he can do. But when the Jags have won or even been even in the turnover battle, they've been good this year. They got to do it against the Titans if they want to have a chance to win. And I am going to go ahead and drop my prediction here. Little nugget at the end of the show, if you've stayed around long enough, my score prediction. I think that the Titans are going to beat the Jaguars 24-21. I think the Jaguars will play with more energy in this game. They're not just going to lay down. They're not the same old Jags. I think that they are a new, better version of the Jaguars. They're still not where they need to be, but they will at least bring energy and not just look like a team that the Titans can roll over like they have so many times throughout the Jaguars and Titans rivalry. But I don't think they're going to get the job done because I don't think that what's happening on the defensive side of the ball is good enough right now. I think there's a lot of really ugly situations on the defensive side of the ball for the Jaguars, whether it be the defensive front, whether it be linebacker next to Foye Oluokun, whether it be left cornerback. There's just a lot not going well for the Jaguars defense. So I don't see the Jaguars winning this one. Obviously, 24-21 presumes that Trevor Lawrence plays in this game. I don't think C.J. Beathard's going to go out there and drop 21 on the Titans. But again, I just think that the Titans are more chippy than the Jaguars. I think they're more physical than the Jaguars. I think overall they're better coached than the Jaguars. And I think when you talk about Mike Vrabel versus Doug Peterson, Vrabel's a defensive guy, Peterson's an offensive guy. I would take Peterson in that matchup straight up, but I think Vrabel's going to land enough punches. His defense is going to land enough punches against the Jaguars offense to make it a frustrating offensive day. And then I also think on the flip side of things, Mike Caldwell hasn't really held a candle to any of his offensive coordinators on the opposite team, on the opponent, for quite a while this season. It's been a while since it looked like Mike Caldwell just did a really good job preparing his guys for a game and getting this team defense ready. So I think Todd Downs, I know he doesn't have a ton of fans in Tennessee right now. I think he has a really good chance to have a good week against Mike Caldwell and the Jaguars defense, unfortunately. So I've got the Titans winning this one. Hopefully I'm wrong. Every time I've picked against the Jaguars lately, it has turned into a good result. So hopefully I end up being wrong about this one. But I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. You can hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. Let me know what you think. What are your keys to victory? What are your predictions for this one? And I hope y'all have a great Saturday. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And also you can become a channel member here on YouTube. You can check out genjag.com to pick up some Duval gear. Could not be doing this without y'all's support. Means the world to me. Again, have a great Saturday, Duval.